Israel was happening, fellas and ladies, elders, everybody. Was happening. I got a little bit of something I wanted to bring forth on the sixth day of the week and put it out there because there's something that's brewing and you might know about it and you might not know about it. But the thing that I want to talk about is actually two particular things that's pertaining to what's happening. But I'm gonna talk about one today and I'll talk about the second one. So I'll make it a part one and I'm gonna make this a part two. So the part one, we're gonna get into it right now. We're gonna go into the book of the Apocrypha. Sirach, chapter 42, verse 7. Deliver all things in number and weight. I have two particular things that I want to talk about. And these particular things that I have to talk about, one is pertaining to what's going to happen tomorrow, which is the seventh day of the week, also known as the Sabbath day of the Lord. We also know that that is a holy day. We cannot do anything on these particular days. So I want to actually proclaim and let something be known. I have to deliver this in weight. Also, something is going to happen after the Sabbath day. I have to deliver this in number. So I have to do this in number and weight. So again, I'm going to do this part one today, and then I'll do a part two after the Sabbath day. According to this part one right here, it's very important for us to understand exactly what's happening to us. So we can continue to say, yo, we evolving or we're not. You know, are we multiplying or are these people or these nations trying to diminish us, trying to bring us under continually? This is still verse 7. And put all things in writing that thou givest out. Everything that I'm talking about right now, I also have this in writing for those that are actually won't be able to watch this video, who don't have time to stop and hear me while I'm talking and preaching and prophesying about this good word right here that I'm trying to put out. So not only am I going to put this out, but I'm also put this in writing. So now, and as I'm passing, I'm going by the highways and byways. I'm not just passing my brothers and sisters, I'm not giving them anything. I have something in hand, whether I have something from my mouth or something from my hand. These things are important. And receivest in. So everything that I inquired, which is I'm sitting at home and I'm watching the news and I'm figuring out that my government is about to do something that's so spectacular for my people, this thing that I took in, I actually have to put this out. I have to bring this out and bring this to the forefront. And I have to have this in writing, and I have this had to have this in conversation as well. So we're going to get into this particular matter at hand. Sirach chapter 33. This is Sirach chapter 33, verse 7 through 17. Verse 7. Why doeth one day excelleth another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun? I'm going to read that again. Why doeth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun? So here it is. We think and say, well, you know what? 4th of July is about to come out. We got to get ready for barbecues and things of that nature. Why y'all worrying about that particular day right here? Just be happy at the fact that we will get the sun when we wake up in the morning. We will actually see light when we wake up in the morning and not darkness. So we actually look forward towards certain days so we could be able to get, or certain nations look to give off certain days so they could get a pat on the back. And this is not a good thing. So we start exalting and start bigging up all of these type of days that's not really good for us. You know what I'm saying? So every day that we look at and we wake up, you should just be glad that it's light outside, it's sunny if the sun is out, and maybe I can go outside and enjoy myself. Maybe I could go outside and connect with a couple of people. But no, we look forward to the holidays so we could be able to turn up and have a reason why we're turning up. Oh, it's because it's Labor Day. Oh, because it's Memorial Day. We just had a holiday where the week before it was so hot and beautiful, but the week of this holiday, that weekend, it was so cold. I believe it was Memorial Day or Labor Day or something, and nobody could enjoy themselves. So guess what? You have a situation where people trying to have fun and they looking for that sun to come out, but it's cold. So you looked for that day so much and planned for it. You probably had a trip planned, a barbecue, whatever, and guess what? God rained on your parade. Because this day that you just looked for, you wasn't happy and glorious at the fact that it was just sunny outside or the fact that you woke up this morning. So don't excel any day that's not important. We're going to get into this. This is verse 8. By the knowledge of the Lord, they were distinguished, and he altered seasons and feasts. So every day of the year, God distinguished these particular things, and he made seasons and feasts out of these particular days. So, yes, we have 364 days in a year. But when you look at the year, we have all of these particular holidays that's going on. Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever holiday that the government want to give us, these are the holidays that we kind of look forward to. So we look forward towards these particular days, not really realizing that when these days come, I might have to spend a little money. I might have to sacrifice something, whatever the case may be. But these holidays cost, right? So you following these days. But guess what? God wouldn't put you through this. This is the reason why he distinguished these days. So not only did I give you life, I also made that a certain time from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, I'm going to make certain days for myself that I want you as a people to follow, right? So that way you don't have to worry about saying, man, yo, I got to go and pay this. It's Valentine's Day. I got to go buy my girl some flowers and I got to pay rent. How I'm going to do this, right? At the end of the day, God is not going to make you pay the rent. Try to go buy flowers for your girlfriend. Make sure you get some flowers for your mother. Make sure you get all of these things and worship these things that cost. But my God's days, they don't cost nothing. Only thing you got to do is open your mouth and have the willpower and have that faith. And if you believe in God and you got faith and you know how to talk, you could be able to change somebody's mindset. You could be able to help them convert themselves over to God instead of pushing them away. This is our job as men. But when you're making yourself applicable, this is what you can do. But when you make yourself a misapplication, you become a foolish man. You become slaved. You become a person that's worrying about days that's just regular. We're going to get into that. Verse 9. Some of them hath he made high days and hallowed them, and some of them hath he made ordinary days. So we already understand now, he divided this particular time of the year and made hollow days and hallowed them, and then he made ordinary days. So he got some holy days that's for himself that I made that I want people to worship me. But all of those ordinary days, July 4th, Independence Day, that's an ordinary day. That don't mean nothing to me. Your Labor Day and your Memorial's days, that don't mean nothing to me. Your Father's days and your Mother's days, that don't mean nothing to me, because that's not something that I hallowed. I got holy days that I want my people to follow. So now we're going to go to the precept to find out exactly what are the holy days. I know them offhand, but I just want to just be able to give you the correct names of exactly what is the holy days that he is talking about in this particular chapter of verse 8 or verse 9. You can find these particular feast days and holy days in the 5 books. The first 5 books is going to tell you this. So I'm going to give you the 8 high holy days that we are only supposed to follow. But the priests, the pastors, this is not on your calendar. None of this is going to be told to you unless you seek it out yourself. So the Lord's high holy days are the Sabbath day, Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Feast of First Fruits, Pentecost. That's 50 meats, which we are in, which is that season. Remember, he divided seasons and made them out of feasts. So I'm doing 50 meats right now, and I have to do it for 7 Sabbaths or 50 days. So because of this right now, this is the feast or the season that we are in. You don't know that you're in Pentecost because you're looking at all of the ordinary days. You're not looking at the holidays. The fourth high holy day is blowing of trumpets. The next is Feast of Tabernacles. The next is New Moon and the Feast of Dedication. So we have these high holy days that we only supposed to worship, yet we worship all of these ordinary days that a man gave us. Yet we do not follow nothing of God. You ask a man today, yo, how many high holy days do we have? He gonna tell you, I don't know. You ask him when is the Sabbath day, he gonna tell you, I don't know. You ask him what is 50 meats, he's gonna tell you, I don't know. I think I have to make 50 meats, 50 days. No, that's not it. You gotta come out here and sacrifice young men. You got to sacrifice old men. You got to sacrifice the elderly women and the young. You got to put them in correction. You got to help them through their affliction. These are the things that I require. It don't cost no money. You don't see me out here spending no money trying to buy flowers and say, yo, can you read the commandments? No, I'm not going to tell you that. My God ain't going to make me do nothing like that. He ain't make me no person of servitude. He ain't make me no servant like that. He made me a servant to honor my neighbor and love my neighbor as I love myself. If I follow the commandments, then I got to give my neighbor the commandments. But I don't have to come and buy my neighbor. I don't have to deceive my neighbor. I don't have to lie to my neighbor, give them a gift maybe one day out of the year, but forget about them the rest of the year. Come on, why would we do that? But we are not taught these things in the churches. So we have to learn this on our own. I'm going to read verse 9 again just so you could be able to understand. Some of them hath he made high days and hallowed them, and some of them hath he made ordinary days. So all of your father's days, your mother's days, your birthday is an ordinary day. It don't mean nothing. But my high holy days that I created that for man. And I want you to follow that. That only. Verse 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. So at the end of the day, if God created man and he created him from the earth, he also gave this man some ordinary days to follow. He gave him some high holy days to follow. The ordinary days is ordinary days. You're not doing nothing on those ordinary days, but man came out here and gave you a birthday. That's an ordinary day. Don't start following them. You know what I'm saying? So if I created you from the ground, you're going to go back into that same. So it's no different. Follow my law, and trust me, I got you. Verse 11, and much knowledge, the Lord have divided them and made their ways diverse. So now you put the Sabbath day compared to Father's Day, let's just say for an example. What would you do? Are you going to keep the Sabbath day, which the Lord required you to do? Or are you going to do and worship your father on Father's Day and take him out to eat on the Sabbath day, which is on the 7th day of the week, because he's your father and he brought you through the flesh? You got a choice to make. Me personally, I'm doing what my Father in heaven tells me. I don't care what my Father in the flesh tells me, because obviously if I'm here, that means that he sinned. If you brought me forth according to the beginning of the law, why Adam and Eve had kids is because they sinned in the Garden of Eden. So because you sinned in the Garden of Eden, only way you could get back with me and my good graces is if you bring forth seed and make sure they don't sin. This is why she did this. Over the time, look what we have. We have people just having babies out of nowhere. Babies upon babies upon babies, and won't even take care of them. It's sad when you see a little boy or a little girl destitute of the own righteous things that's supposed to be given to them from a parent. Don't be those type of people. So at the end of the day, now you can see, and you pinning this thing up between, what should I do? Should I do, my mother's birthday is on a Sabbath day. Should I take her out and say happy birthday to her? Or should I keep my mouth shut and keep the Sabbath day? I'm going to keep the Sabbath. I'm telling you straight up right now. I don't care how you feel, Ma. I don't care how you feel, Dad. I don't care how you feel, Grandma. I don't care how you feel, girlfriend, boyfriend. None of those things. Because at the end of the day, God's words matter. Nobody else. You'll have people in your corner that were trying to turn you away from God. They was made the same way you was. So this rotten piece of wood will try to just take you away from the right way that you are going in. This is a struggle that nobody should have to go through by themselves. This is something that should be very easy, but these people is complicated, unreasonable, a misapplication of oneself. Verse 12, some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them hath he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. I'm going to read that again, and I'm going to read it a little slower. Verse 12, some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them hath he sanctified and set near himself. So those people that wanted ordinary days like Father's Day and Valentine's Day, I exalted them and gave them that. You want that? No problem. This is what you having, not me in your heart, but you got the world in your heart. So you want to do the things that's of the world. So no problem, I'll give you that. But some of them I sanctified and made near myself. I took the children of Israel and made them for me. I gave them my law, statutes, and commandments, and the thing that I want them to do for me on my holy days. Now, some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them have he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. Those people that he cursed and brought low was those people who didn't want to do the Sabbath day. The reason why I couldn't do the Sabbath day, God, is because it was Father's Day and I had to take my dad out. I wanted to buy him a nice expensive watch and take him to dinner and show him how much of a dad I really love him. Your dad is a piece of shit, I'm sorry to tell you. If he's not giving you the law, statutes, and commandments and letting you know, don't worship me on this particular day, knowing it's a holy day for the Lord, he's a piece of shit. Slothful man. So at the end of the day, we getting cursed all because of the things that we are brought into. And because we won't read the law, do the research ourselves. So we get cursed for these particular things. And we get kicked out of our place. And he turns his face away from us. And we get caught into bondage and makes ourselves misapplications and start working for other nations that don't care for us. "13, as the clay is in a potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best." So if he made Adam from the ground, I can't say, you know what, because I'm in the flesh and I'm doing what I want to do and God ain't standing right here, he ain't going to see me worship any other day besides his day. No. So if I worship any other day, I'm going to get cursed. And you can see these particular things. If I say I work today, if I say, you know, I have to pay bills continually, but I'm blessed, I'm good, I'm not worrying about nothing in my life, I'm actually lying. I'm actually lying to the fact that I'm actually cursed and I'm paying a servitude for something that I really shouldn't, because I refuse to do the law, statutes, and commandments of God. How you doing, brother? Verse 14, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So if I let you know, yo, listen, it's the Sabbath day coming tomorrow, but you feel as though Father's Day is tomorrow, what would you rather have? God made man out of earth, just like he made Adam, and you're in his hand. So God says, yo, I want you to worship holy days, not ordinary days. Father's Day is an ordinary day. A Sabbath day is a holy day. It is commanded. On the seventh day of the week, you follow that. So if I come out here and I tell you that you're doing an evil thing, this is what God prescribes. This is what he likes best. This is what fashions me. You come out here to do good, to reprove the evil. Stop the evil. But no, we don't want to do that. I want to continue to be pieces of shit and do evil. This is what we want to do, right? Now, we remember the script when I told you about Sirach. A slothful man is compared to a dunghole, and every man that takes it up will shake his hand. So what do we say every day, sir? Oh, what's going on today? Same shit, different day. It's the same shit, different day. You're going to shake that man's hand continually. You ain't going to find nothing new. This is sad.
Nothing new under the sun.
Nothing. So we continue to do the same shit. Nothing new. This right here, though, is new. Talking this word right here of young men to preaching to the people about the kingdom of heaven is new. But how many people is doing it? Not many. This is sad. Verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. You're going to have a group of people who's doing the law, statutes, and commandments, and who's doing it that they want to do it fervently. And because of this, they're going to come to another group of people who's not doing this particular thing. They don't want to do it, though. They're not going to want to do it. You come to talk to them and try to sanctify them and try to show them a way. They're not going to do it. You try to let them know we are still in servitude. They are not going to listen. I'm good. I'm taking care of myself. I got a job. But if you have a job and you're about to go pay rent, that is slavery. Liberty is undue freedom. There's no way in that. Verse 16. I awaked up, last of all, as one that gathereth after the grape gatherers. By the blessing of the Lord I profited, and filled my winepress like a gatherer of grapes. Yes, I'm a young man, 35 years old, and I'm talking about a Bible right now and preaching the word of God and trying to sanctify people to come back into his way, not walk out the way. And because of this particular thing, I woke up at the last. Yes, people been going to church for years on the first day of the week, on a Sunday. They've been worshiping Father's Day and Mother's Day for years. They've been forgetting about the Sabbath day for years. I woke up at the last of all and decided to say, you know what, I'm not going to be like everybody else and walk in the way. He said, walk in the straight path. Straight is narrow. You cannot go this way going straight. You can't go this way going straight. He didn't say what's corresponding or what's acceptable. I said straight, which is my commandment. My commandment is straight. Verse 17. Consider that I labored not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning. So now, the reason why I told you, remember I told you I'm doing this as a part 1 and I'm going to have a part 2. The reason why I wanted to let you know about the high holy days that a lot of people don't know about compared to all of the ordinary days. We have an ordinary day that your government just gave you. They just gave you JUNETEENTH, or however you say this. Now, they just solidified it and made it a federal holiday. This is what your government gives you. That from 1865, we done accomplished so much and gave you freedom. We freed you from being slaves. And guess what? We forgot to make it into a holiday. So this is what we're going to do. Starting from now on, June 19th is going to be called JUNETEENTH. Every year, this is going to be a holiday that you can worship. You can practice. You can be happy that you was made not a slave anymore from 1865 up until now. Now, I want to show you something. This is called the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, okay? We're going to look up the word liberty because obviously people don't know how to read or understand when they get words. Liberty means freedom. The definition of the word liberty: freedom, the opposite of servitude or bondage. Not freedom, liberty, but you still have to work for us and pay us a little bit because no. Freedom from that. Not, you got to pay your rent on the first. No, freedom. You said in 1865, you're going to free 4 million black slaves. Freedom. I'm not seeing that. I still have to go to work every day just to pay my bills. If I go to work for a company right now, I work for a company, I work $800 in a week, 5 days. But those 5 days, I brought this company $35,000. I only got $800 out. And I still got to pay my rent out of this. So guess what? If I'm doing this, am I free? So the government just passed this holiday federal. This is great, guys. Go outside tomorrow and remember the day where we made you free and go be merry. Go to the park. We're going to have hot dogs to sell you. You're going to sell me hot dogs, but I'm supposed to be free. So let's finish off this little thing. Liberty, again, freedom, the opposite of servitude or bondage. Whether physical, moral, or spiritual. If I say, yo, I keep the Sabbath day and I got to do the law, statutes, and commandments of God, you cannot say, yo, but you got to come to work on the weekends. So guess what? If you work a job, they make you work one weekend. It's either going to be a Saturday or a Friday. You may get Sunday off because we honor that. This is what the Roman Catholic Church gave us. They said we can worship on the first day of the week. Forget the seventh day of the week. But that's man. God didn't say that. So because of this particular matter, we have this situation where we stuck in a bondage. Now, this is the reason why I brought this up. In 1865, what we have to realize is that, yes, Abraham Lincoln decided to do a thing, which is to free slaves. But his Republican Party, Fascist Stevens, felt as though, all right, we cool with letting you free slavery, but you are being too lenient on the South. Instead, make those people who had slaves, make them come outside in the field. Make them work and make their kids work in the field and make them sell all of their property to their current slavers. Every 400 black people should be having homes and houses right now. Abraham Lincoln said, no, this is not a good thing because I'm trying to stop the violence. After the Civil War, it was so much confusion. He felt as though as me being the president and me running the government, this is my best course of action. I'm going to give everybody enmity. I'm going to actually stop all of the beef. I'm going to bring y'all all together under one government. And I'm going to free slaves. So the Republican Party was with this, but they just looked at it as, you are being too nice to the South. You should punish them. Now, suddenly, because Abraham Lincoln wanted to do this particular matter and free the slaves, he gets killed. Suddenly, right? But this is not the point that I want you to focus on. The point that I want you to focus on is the fact that once Abraham Lincoln died, it's a vice president that has to take his place. So the vice president that took his place is Andrew Johnson. Suddenly, though, or funnily, or ironically, Andrew Johnson is a Democrat. Not only is he a Democrat, he was a current slave owner, and he's from the South. So now, Abraham Lincoln is trying to abolish slavery in the South. He comes in power with Andrew Johnson, and he's a Democrat, a current slave owner, and from the South. He already knows what the Congress of the Republican Party wants to do. I'm not going to let you do that. So this is the real reason why slavery in the South took so long to actually come about. So with these particular things, I guess the government says, yo, okay, now we have a problem on our hands because Andrew Johnson is not letting go the slaves. He still got them slaves, and we're supposed to be making these people free. So they come out with black codes. The black codes is where a black man got the right to vote. Being that we got this freedom thing, you got the right to sue or be sued, but you can't sue a white man, okay? It was certain things you could work or whatever the case may be, but you can't have the same type of entitlements as white people. So when Congress finally finds this particular thing out, they decide to do an investigation, and this is why they came out with the 13th Amendment, the Civil Rights Bill. So because of this, you can't take nobody's rights away from them. We made 4 million Americans free. You can't tell them that they can't sue a white man. You can't do that. So because of this, they had to go by it by the proper way and set off an investigation, and let's put this to the president. So now they put this out. We want people to actually be treated fairly. President Johnson says, you know what, I'm vetoing that bill. He vetoes the bill because he's president. Congress gets mad. They say, you know what, now we're going to come out with the 14th Amendment, which means that you cannot abridge any privilege of no citizen of the United States. Obviously, they still going back and forth. President Johnson and the Republican Party was going through it. That's when the whole Democratic and the whole Republican Party was going back and forth. So the Republican Party started to do a different thing. They decided to say, well, you know what? We're going to have to gather all of the Confederate states together, and we're going to have to separate it. We're going to take 4 states, and we'll put a governor over them. Then once we do this, we're going to actually make sure that we make all of the black people sign up to register to vote. During 1865, around that time, it took 3 or 4 people in the household to count as one vote. But When they realized what Andrew Johnson was doing, we said we got to make black people 1%. So that way your one person could count as one vote. They figure we're going to let black people vote, the Republican Congress. We're going to let the black people vote. And the reason why we're going to let black people vote is because we can't keep our president in check. But check this. You put the man in power. These are the type of people that we put in power and not even realize that y'all can't even control them. So because y'all can't control them, y'all come to us. So they figured to say, yo, listen, only way we can control the president is if we allow black people to vote and we account one black person as one vote. And if we do this, then we can keep the president in check and we are good. So we're going to make it look like it's beneficial for them, where not only can you sue, but you can also sue a white man. We're going to give you government jobs. We're going to give you these particular type of things. So when Fascist Stevens and Andrew Johnson is going through this particular matter, and these people are realizing this, the one thing that was said, or two things that were said, one, out of the Civil War, out of anybody who won this war was the white man, because he still got to keep his slaves. Now, this is what happened. The slaves never left the plantation. They stayed on the plantation. They actually continued working for their current slave masters. But this is the difference. Instead of me getting a lash or a beating, you paid me for picking my cotton. You gave me a quarter. But it's just like it is today. If I go to that job that I said I had made $800 in a week, because I worked there for a year, they're gonna say, we're gonna give you a 50-cent raise, Anthony. So I might start making $800.50. Is that a benefit? No, I'm supposed to have free slavery, right? So because of this particular matter, the question was asked, did the Negro, not the white, did the Negro change one type of slavery for a different type of servitude? Did we just say, well, you know what? We tired of being beaten, but we still gonna work for you. You could pay us a little wage. And this time, though, when I go to ask, can I go see my girlfriend or my kids or my wife or my boyfriend, you gonna get to say yes. What? This is what we exchanging for. So because of these particular matters, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because tomorrow, which is the 7th day of the week, we know that it starts from 6 in the evening today up until 6 in the evening tomorrow. They are giving you June 20th, where you can celebrate how you was free from slavery. Now, if you're telling me you're free from slavery and you're happy about this, and this information that I'm giving to you makes no sense, then by all means, do whatever it is that you do in life. But if you're trying to seek the truth and the kingdom of heaven, not only do I have this in video, I also have this in writing. This is something that I'm ordained to do. I take this serious. I don't play with this. I'm not coming out here to deceive. I'm not coming out here to lie. I'm coming out here to have a conversation and speak the truth. This lyingness, all of this wickedness that's going on is getting us killed and is getting us destroyed. People getting kicked out of them homes, but yet I'm going to exhort myself and live myself right. Nah. So we're going to go to the law. Leviticus chapter 20. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for the Lord am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. I'm going to read that again. Verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. So if I severed you from other people, let those other people do what they do. But me, you are mine. I do my holy days. Do that only. Continue to proclaim my feast days. Do that only. Don't go out there and do no wickedness and talking about, yo, it's free slavery day and we going out to enjoy ourselves. That doing is wicked, man. Get yourself together, Yasharala. Kwan.